Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mr. Trevor Rose. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel. Nice to have you. Oh, my thumbs up aren't very good. But anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be discussing a show that I love, 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 love. I enjoy a lot. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Um, but I'm not going to be discussing why I love it. If you want to see some videos about that, there's a ton, like a huge, vast amount of videos um, about what makes Avatar: The Last Airbender a great show. Uh, but I'm not here for that, as you can tell from the title. I'm here to discuss a possible, like, small plot hole in there. Um, Now, basically, this plot hole is uh, the fact that the Fire Nation is hunting an airbender and doesn't just assume that they killed the 12-year-old Avatar in the uh, genocide of the airbenders. Now, I don't know why they would assume this because I try to think of some reasons because they didn't know. Well, firstly, they didn't know that the Avatar even knew he was the Avatar, because if I was Sozin, I would have assumed that the Avatar didn't learn of uh, his avatarness until he was 16 years old, just like Roku did, and of course that was the way it was supposed to go. But Aang learned early. And also, I wouldn't have assumed that uh, the Avatar would have just been a master airbender. Um, I mean, it's a fair assumption, but there's also, they did kill a lot of the, I mean, not a lot, all of the airbending masters as well. So I don't know why you would assume you didn't kill the Avatar because he's only a 12-year-old kid. Uh, I tried to think of some reasons. I thought, in the very first episode of the show, we see when Aang comes out of the iceberg, a huge amount of energy is released, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Um, I'm like, maybe that happens when the Avatar dies or is born or something. But then I thought back to flashbacks, like in Legend of Korra when Wan died. There was no just like big. Rava left him, but that's about it. And in uh, the episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the Avatar and the Fire Lord, when we see Roku die, there's nothing, no light coming. So that was a bit ruled out. And then I thought, maybe Sozin just thought that the airbender might have survived, and so he kept searching for an airbender, but he also had looks out for waterbenders, and that's why they kept going back to the Southern Water Tribe and taking all the benders and keeping them prisoners, um, and eventually killing the final one. And I suppose a lot of the other ones, I mean, not a lot, all the other ones eventually died, which is very sad. But if you were to assume that the Avatar had the Avatar had been killed as a 12-year-old airbender and been reincarnated into the Water Tribe, well, they did like brutally attack the Southern Water Tribe. They didn't as brutally attack the Northern Water Tribe until about a century later, until the Siege of the North. Um, and yeah, I don't think they thought that the Avatar was a waterbending Avatar. And even if they did, it'd be hard to think that way because when Zuko. Oh, sorry. I'm a little bit uncomfortable right now. But when Zuko went to the South Pole for the first time, uh, he pulled out Gran Gran, also known as Kana, and he said um, you know, he'd be about this old, master of all four elements. Now, I know Zuko's only a teenager, but I think he could tell the difference between a 112-year-old man and an, how old was she, 89-year-old lady, which, and if he even if Aang had died at 12 years old and reincarnated into um, into another avatar, into a waterbending avatar, there's still a 19-year gap before Kana was born, and so I'm pretty sure he could tell 19 years difference. Uh, and then another thing he said is master of all four elements. Now, if Aang had died, I keep saying that, and been reincarnated into uh, a water tribe, folk, a waterbender. I don't know. Um, he or the Avatar wouldn't have been able to master all four elements, considering that there were no airbenders around, unless previous lives can teach you bending. Um, but I don't know about that. Leave it that in the comments down below if you think previous avatars can teach new avatars how to bend. Um, I'm not sure about that, but yeah. So basically, um, I just don't think that the Fire Nation should have been chasing after an airbender this whole time, or even a waterbender. And even if it was for waterbenders, they didn't do a very good job at that. Uh, and let's say they had killed the waterbender um, who was the Avatar, right? Like a reincarnated Avatar. It would have gone to Earth, and that's probably why they held um, all the waterbenders in prison, except for the last few, because then they figured, hey, none of these are the Avatar. um, then they would have had to move on to the Earth Kingdom, which kind of makes sense a little bit, but not really, because they do try to burn the Earth Kingdom down, but that's not because they already know that the Airbender or Aang has returned. So yeah, uh, I don't know. Leave your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. Do you think it's like a flaw in the Fire Nation? Oh, and also, uh, at the very end of Avatar and the Fire Lord, or not the very end, but like the end of the flashbacks, um, Sozin, Avatar, or not Avatar, that'd be really weird, but Fire Lord Sozin, he says, um, he spent the rest of his life looking for the last airbender that evaded him, which does, beg the question, why was he looking for an airbender? But yeah, leave your comments down below if you think it was a flaw or not, or just, Sozin's insanity, or anything like that. Leave it down in the comments below. If you like this video, thumbs up. Even if you didn't like it, the thumbs up. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in another video. Peace.